everybody who's committed to helping us out with events throughout the year. At the Produce Box, one of our most cost-effective way of getting new members is at events. And it's where we spread the word about the Produce Box and how people get to know us the best. So we really need you there to help us out with this. And as a bonus, you get paid, which is awesome. So, oh, sorry. Yes, that's okay. I'm going to grab some more folders. So what is the event for? I think most of you have already signed up. Or is there anybody here so far who's just coming kind of to see if it's something you still want to do? Or is everybody signed up? Okay, good one. So the event core, like I said, is brand new this year. Paid for events. And ideally, we ask you to try to commit to 2 to 3 events per month. Obviously, if something comes up and that doesn't happen, we're not going to be keeping you to that necessarily every time. We just want to know that we can count on you during those times when we have over 50 events per month. And I have a feeling it's going to even expand even more now that we're in Charlotte, now that we're pushing more Triad. We're going to have a lot of events. What I want to do today, hopefully we're not going to be an hour. I really don't think we will, but I want to leave enough time for questions. This is your event core packet, which is still a work in progress because I'm still adding things to it. Even just listening to Courtney and Kevin's speech, I'm going to add some more things to it. This will be on the greenhouse. All the information that is on here and anything else that I need to get to you will be on the greenhouse. Also to note, I think you've noticed we now have an event core email group. If I ever have to push information out to you, that is what I'll be using. You as well can use it if you need to get information to somebody. But really the first person to go to is me before emailing the whole group. Now in this packet, what you're going to find are a few things right now. I'm going to review the checklist in a minute. Let's first go through what we have here. What is the Produce Box? This is what you have to get to know. This is the 30-second elevator speech, is what we call it. The Produce Box delivers fresh, local produce and specialty products like meats, cheeses, jams, and a lot more to homes and offices all over North Carolina. We bring the farmers market to your door. We help our members support over 50 local farmers and over 60 local artisans, as well as give back to their communities. Now, I'm not saying if somebody walks up to you, you stand there for it and just rattle this off, but you have to know these bullet points so when you first meet somebody. This is the critical information. You'll also see our routes. Now this is information as well on at least the old website. I assume a version of it is on the new one that we looked at today, about how Courtney started this company, which is a very interesting thing to note. People like this. People like to hear that we are a company of over 200 stay-at-home moms and dads. They like to hear these things. It makes them feel good that we are supporting all of the parents who want to go out and find a job at this time. But this is how she started the company. We'll also read about what we are doing in the community. We do feel this sets us apart from many of our competitors. So really get to know this. And there's some new things on here, like Courtney talked about, 1,600 community boxes. Huge. I had a member last year who every time she skipped, she donated a community box. Every time she skipped. So read the different types of things we're doing in the community. Get to know it. People like this. It's warm and fuzzy. They think it's great that we do this. Frequently asked questions. This will be updated next week after I just listened to Courtney and Kevin's speech because I thought it was very interesting, especially the information about the farmers that you heard today and how we pay them on time and how we want to support 100% of their harvest. People like to hear this information when you talk to them. They feel good about the fact that we're supporting our North Carolina farmers, that we're providing these jobs. So this is a lot of information that is on the website, but I've added some new things in here for you to look at and make sure that you know, especially where does our produce come from. There's a section on what makes us different from competitors like Papa Spuds and Carolina Grown and Backyard Produce. And what we feel makes us different is that blue check people deliver it to your home. These companies have a truck driver deliver it to your home. We have neighborhood coordinators who care about you as a member, who want to make sure you're happy. And that's one of the things that differentiates us. for you, I don't have it finished yet, but this will be up next week, is a competitors at a glance sheet. You will be able to find out where they deliver. You'll be able to find out what types of things they deliver. Is it just North Carolina ground? Do they deliver year round? Do they deliver meats? Do they deliver cheese, etc.? Also how they compare to us with prices. You're going to put all that in. And this information will be on Greenhouse. As well as on the Greenhouse, please take a moment to always go in and look at competitors because there's a lot more information in there besides competitors at a glance. There's information about the types of boxes they offer. If they have strange delivery fees, about how their point systems work, not things that I've been confused. These take some time. The Greenhouse will be updated. It's already starting to be updated. Julie Brown's updating a lot of this information, but we're going to be adding more and more of this information on. I'm really, and Kristen is really relying on the event board to stay up to date with everything that's going on at the Produce Box and to make sure you're reading everything that comes before you. I'm sorry? Too loud?
No, be louder.
Oh, be louder. I'm sorry. You didn't hear me. Why don't you, do you want to move up for it? So on the other side, let's look at two things I have for you. Our growing calendar, which also will be updated in case people ask when things are being offered. A handy dandy how to set up the tent. Okay? This is our new tent. We are very excited about our new tent this year. It will not be going everywhere. It was very expensive. It was very expensive. It will not be going everywhere. I'll be going to some of our bigger events that we need to have a high profile at. It will also be one where at least two of you are at. Mostly because you are not allowed to set this up on your own. It is a two-person job. If you try it as one person, it will break. So, but these are some instructions. I'm also hoping to post a video of how to set this up. I believe the company has it on their website, so I'll post that as well so you can see it. This is also in the tent bag. So if you ever get somewhere and you're like, I don't know how to set it up, it's in the tent bag. But this is be very careful with it. And then just so you have an extra copy, I'll be talking about these. These are our raffle sign-up links. Also on Greenhouse, but if you ever need one, need to grab a copy, there's an extra copy. Okay, our checklist. This is the information about step-by-step about how Event Core is going to work this year. And I do want to preface it with saying, this is a work in progress. If you ever have any suggestions on ways to improve it or something that might not be working for you, please share it with me. Every Monday, I would like you to check what's different. One of the things that's different this year, instead of us saying, we need somebody at this event, we used to send out emails. We need you to cover this event. We're relying on you to check the Event Core sign-up sheet. Right now, I'm not sure what it's going to be. It's either going to be Volunteer Spot or Sign Up Genius. It is, but I know we're trying, but it's not. Doesn't have as much of the flexibility that we need.
I'm sorry.
I have to look at both of them and weigh them. So but I'm relying on you to go and check this to make sure that we're covering these events. If for any reason I have an immediate need, I will push that out to you as a group that I need coverage for this. But usually we have at least 2 to 3 weeks advance notice before we put something on the calendar. But there are some times where we end up saying we've got to be somewhere on Friday. So please go and check that and sign up. It will have for every slot at least 2 signups. The first one being, I can cover this event. I will be your person at the Y covering this event. The second slot, which I want to put in this year, is a substitute slot, if possible. Because it has happened. Children get sick. NCs get sick. Something happens where at the last minute or a couple days notice they can't make it. And if we could have subs on there to say that I am available if you need it. So don't put your name on there and then go book something else. We really need you to be available as a sub. Because what happens is it's usually an area manager or Kristen or I that will rush and have to go cover it. But if we can get subs for this, that would be awesome. And that also does count to I'm available 2 to 3 times a month. So, but we do want to make sure you get those covered. Delivery week before the event, that is when you will receive all of the materials that you will need. I will be going over our event kit and what's in it in just a minute. You'll receive that. You will receive any produce that you need to be able to do this event. We like to give samples, of course. You may receive things if there's going to be a lot of kids, you're going to marbles, we have tattoos. Whatever is appropriate for that event, you will get. If it is a tent event, it will come on the truck as well. If for some reason you need a table, that will be there. We will let you know. In the sign-up, it will say what is going to be available at this event for you. We did not get a but I will explain this. We do also this year have 2 tablets available to have sign-ups on the spot.
They're mini iPads.
It's not, so we're going to determine if that is something that's going to be used in the event. And if so, we will let you know. That will be on the truck with the truck driver. So you have to make sure you go, I'm supposed to get a tablet. We'll let you know that.
Just quickly, everyone who uses the tablet is supposed to be trained on it. Here's the training. You turn the tablet on the front screen. It is through Verizon, so it doesn't need wireless. It uses cell service. On the front screen, there's an icon that says the produce box. You click that and it goes to our website. There's a second icon that I think says sign up. You click that and it goes straight to our sign up page. You hand it to the member who wants to sign up and say, here you go, and just let them type it all in so you don't have to type it in correctly.
We do not enter their information for them.
So that is your tablet training.
Your tablet training. The tablet then must be returned to the truck driver. They have been told, or your route manager. To your route manager, they've been told this is going to come, that's part of their responsibility, that they are responsible for this tablet. So that will also come on the truck for you. The day of the event, attire, produce box, t-shirt, of course. It doesn't matter, you can wear the green one this year. If you have another one that you want to wear, that's fine. Let's be produce box. Also, we're asking, especially at the indoor events, kind of like the attire that we want this year is pants, of course, if it's indoors, preferably khakis or black pants, just to be representing us as part of the produce box. Now, when it comes to outdoor events, use your best judgment. If it's 90 degrees outside, you do not have to wear pants. Shorts are acceptable if they're nice khaki shorts or a skirt, obviously not for men, but or skirt. Just use your best judgment with that. Once again, still a produce box t-shirt, no athletic shorts, no cutoff shorts, etc. If you're going to a farm for any reason, wear jeans, wear boots, wear something that's appropriate for the environment that you're going to. When you get to the event, the arrival time, sometimes they will have a specific time they want you to arrive. That will be in the description of the job. Otherwise, I'll show you the table that we have. This doesn't take more than 15 minutes to set up. It's pretty fast. Allow for travel time, which we do allow for when we set up the event and how much is being paid. Make sure that you find the person who's in charge just to say that you're there. Or somebody may know who that is. When you get there, just say, I'm here, where do I set up? Make sure you find that person. During the event, wear your produce box smile. We have to say that because it's true. We want everybody to be smiling and happy. Hand out the samples. Depending upon the time of year, you will have samples to give them. At each one, it depends on what time it is. The apples in the fall, the summer's great because we get all the grapefruit and everybody loves to come to your table if you have the blueberries and strawberries. Also, get people to sign up. This sheet is very important to us. This is a very critical sheet. This is how they win a raffle of a free box, but it is also how we get names and email addresses for potential members. Kristen sends out an email monthly.
We're going to actually start sending it out twice a month. We have a list of 5,000 people from our events last year, and that's what those people are gold. They're interested in us. They have signed up to win a free box, but they have stayed at our table and talked typically while they sign up. So we email them twice a month. Recipes, fun tips on eating local. So if anyone asks, what am I giving you by giving you my email? They're not going to be sold. Their name will not be sold to anyone. We're only going to touch them twice a month, and they can opt out at any time.
So this is very important. I'm going to say a little louder for the camera in case it was hard to hear you under the tent. So Kristen will send out emails twice a month to these people. That is the only thing that will come to them from this email if they ask. And one person will be selected to receive a free box of produce from this.
And it's a gift certificate that is sent via email. It's that free box, just so they know too. And we take care of all that here.
You don't have to do any. You don't have to do any of the specific follow-up to a specific member. That is nothing that you have to do. You do have to do something for this, which I will tell you. Obviously, if you have a tablet and you really have somebody who looks like they are truly interested in joining, or said, I've always thought about joining the produce box, what do? Well, you can join right now and hand them the tablet. Tell them they can join on the spot and start receiving deliveries the next week. And then event follow-up. So this is within the last 48 hours after your event. There are a few things we need you to do. You will be required to fill out to enter into a Google form that I will send to you when I have it set up, this information, which is the name, email address, and zip code of everybody who sent it. We know how long it takes to do a sheet of this. I've done them. Kristen's done them and entered them. That will be accommodated within the pay that you get for this. So we know exactly how long it takes to enter in a page. So if you have an event that has 5 pages, we know how long that should take you. We need that done. I will have an event follow-up form as well. Well, you will enter in your start and end time and any comments from the event. If it's a brand new one, this was great. We had so many people stop by. It was definitely the people that we are looking for. There were moms coming. There were people with kids coming by. This was the crew. Or, no, this really wasn't quite our clientele that is coming to this. We've gone to some where it was really honestly all men that really weren't making the decisions for this. A lot of times it's women that make the decisions for the produce box. So it might not be. Or we've gone to some where we've been at UNC where all of a sudden it was all students. So whoops, nope, this isn't what we want because the students are not going to sign up. So we need that follow-up information so the next year we know whether or not to do that event again. And then of course return all your materials on the following truck. Unless you're signed up for another event, we will cover that. But return everything back on the truck the next week, the next time it comes to the delivery, so we can get it back here. If it's convenient for you to stop by the hub, please stop by the hub. The sooner we get event kits back, the better. We're going to be creating more of them this year, so we have some more out there, knowing that we have so many of you who are going to help.
And so in the outlying areas, Charlotte, Detroit, some of y'all keep your event kits with your area manager. So if that's what's appropriate, then get it back to your area manager.
So let me
prop it up like that so people can see when they walk by. If you don't have a live box, you'll have our box photo. This is what a typical box looks like. 6 to 8 veggies, fruits, blah 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 blah. You know your spiel.
When you get your produce, when you get your event kit box, the things that will be inside are one of these tablecloths, the new table runner that goes over just like this. A lot of times we will be sending a basket with it to put your produce in. We have napkins in there to make it look nice, to be able to put some of your samples in. It really depends upon what we're offering you. That will be in the produce, that will be in it as well. You will have sample newsletters to hand to people. These are great because these are the things that our members love the most. They read them and read them and read them, and they provide a lot of information. So please share it with the prospective customers.
And do you mind if I jump in as
Yep.
we go, because we don't have time for role play? One thing that I do at events a lot is I'll say, oh, this is an example of a typical week, and point out the menu on the back. So we have recipes, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and this is what a typical week looks like for us. There's 8 box choices. You can build your own box, blah, blah, blah. These boxes range in price from $22 to $34, blah, blah, blah.
Just one quick question. Since those have had the recipes in them and they're going to come on something else, are you going to be able to have recipes as part of the event kit too?
I guess what you're asking if we're going to have sample recipes as part of the event kit. Sometimes we do because it depends upon what the event is. For example, at the Y, we had a pumpkin smoothie recipe that we provided at that as well, that people could go home and learn how to make pumpkin smoothies. It really depends upon the event that we provide that. We may. That's a great idea to provide different sample recipes that we've done in the past that people can take home. You would also as well will have flyers to hand out, of course, and in there, of course, clipboards, pens, the forms that need to fill out. We'll have the register to win, all these things that are here. You set it up in this way when you get there, and that is what is going to be in your event kit itself.
And you also have a small box in here, so you can say, oh, we have small boxes for 1 to 2 person families. I'll just lift the box photo sometimes so they can see the size. Or larger boxes for 4 to 6 person families. That's,
Yeah, I think we have a few minutes. I think what we wanted to do now is, where's Mary?
yeah, do you guys have any questions?
We were going to do a
Have you
quick
worked with
scenario.
events and-
Things we have left to do is question and answers, because you probably have a lot of questions and answers, may or may not. We also just wanted to do kind of a quick scenario for those of you who haven't done events before. I know it's a mixture here of kind of things you might get asked, things that are thrown at you, and how to answer them. So we can do that first, or if you have any quick questions you want. And I'm going to repeat your questions so we can hear it from the videotape. Do you want to start? Anybody have any questions so far? Yes.
I noticed last year that a lot of people wanted to know which farms in our area were featured in the produce box, and I didn't have that information.
Okay, that's a great idea, is to be able to. One thing I also know is in our newsletters, Julie is starting to profile farmers in our newsletters, so that's going to be a great tool for you to have. But we will try to get a list of some of the farmers that we use on a regular basis for you, so you can have a sample throughout the area.
On the same line with that though, is when we get produce to sample, it would be nice to know where it came from, because I've had, oh, well, where did these peaches come from? I'm like,
Okay, that's a good idea. So that's a great idea. Debbie suggested that when we provide you with the produce, we also give you a list of where it comes from. And I actually did that myself one time at my son's school. I provided this is something you can make up yourself on the spot. If we give it to you, I provided a list. These blueberries are coming from this county. I usually did a county because that was usually good enough. It made people realize they're not going to know Lee's farm versus some farm. So, and we can get you at minimum where this produce is coming from, the county that it's coming from. And I did put up a sign, and I got a lot of response to that, to be able to just do a quick sign up there. Yes?
I know our focus is on produce, but are we going to have anything that shows that we also offer our products?
The question was, are we going to show artisan products as well at some of these? And we have. We have provided some artisan products, such as dips with the apples, caramel dips. But it probably is a good idea as well to get a list of some of the artisans that we have available that we have on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
As-
maybe we could do a sign like this one, Geraldine,
Yeah.
that says like local meats, cheeses, and has a picture, because it's hard to send that stuff out to
One
you
of the
guys.
things we did, certain things come in containers that are like black bags or things you can't see through. Once they're empty, fill it with something like rice and close it up.
That's a great idea.
Because it just starts the conversation. We also keep some of the meat, the little silver pouches for you guys already coordinators, that say bacon, gnocchi, ravioli, and we just stick them right in that box so it pops out, and it just starts the conversation, because people say, oh, you have bacon, oh, you have, and it draws them to the table to talk to us.
That's-
And we didn't have to actually bring any. And then they can see how it's going to come to them and how we take care of it. And
And we can actually provide.
I'm
an
sure you
event
have
kit.
billions of those
Event
laying
kit we
around.
can easily provide. That's a great idea. The idea was for everybody on the video training was to provide some more like just visual samples at least of the other items that we provide. And I will add that to the list that we put in, just a couple of those foiled. For those of you who are new, the meat comes in a silver package, insulated package that will say bacon on it or sausage or something like that. And so we'll have a few of those to be able to put out for you, as well as I can get some packaging from Sarah easily to be able to put in that for you at least. But there are other times that we do send some stuff with you occasionally for people to try at the time too. Any other questions before we start just doing a little scenario of an event? Nothing? I'm gonna ask Mary to come on up, who has done a ton of events for us and is a pro. I don't know if you want to.
Do you want to be the customer, Mary? Because you,
I'll be the
okay, you be the customer, but then help me if you answer better than me.
And we need to make sure everybody sticks up
She
nice
lives in
and
the
loud.
Triangle area and has done a ton of Triangle area events for us. That's Mary DeFrank.
time
She's
is
our
short,
event
I
pro.
guess I'll mostly ask like the objections that I get.
Well, okay, and so what I do too, for those of you I was in Charlotte with, I heckle. So if you have a very slow table, be like, oh hey, do you know about the produce box? Oh hey, and have you heard of, are you eating local fruits and vegetables? Did you want to start? you know, don't feel shy. Because it's a great message and it's a fun company and fun things to talk about. So nobody, really you rarely get people who are like, oh my gosh, leave me alone, you know, so.
And that's why it's great to have
Once
the,
I heckle you over.
having the samples, when the kids come to get the samples,
Yes,
then you can just say to the
samples,
parent,
yeah.
have you heard, do you know the produce box? Have you got the produce box? Or when they're signing that, then you have the chance for your 30-second elevator speech. Have you heard the produce box? And you can put it out there. And then a lot of times from you talking to that person, people behind them hear that, and that draws them in. When they're just kind of walking past, it draws them in.
Yeah, and if you have tattoos, getting them to sign on the raffle too, like I said, then you have 30 seconds to a minute to talk to them. And if you have tattoos, bring a sponge and a little water bottle if you can and put it on the kids there. They love that. And that kind of gives you a minute again to talk to the parents.
You're gonna have to speak
So,
up. Just-
sorry, we'll do.
You're gonna-
I think we're about to run out of battery, so that's good. My timing was perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So, hi, do you know about the produce box?
I had a neighbor that got it, but I'm really not familiar with
Oh,
it.
great. Yeah, we deliver, it's like the farmer's market to your front door. We deliver to actually members all throughout this area and probably in your neighborhood. Do you live around here? Or? Oh, great. Okay. We deliver fruits, vegetables, local meats, cheeses, artisan items. North Carolina produce. We work with about 40 North Carolina farmers and bring their produce straight to the doors of our members.
Oh, okay. I just hate to make a commitment because, you know, I'm not always home every week and.
Oh, well, we're great. I usually don't step all over the person. Sorry, I'm rushing it off. I'm like, okay, that's great. No, we do offer a really convenient service in that you can skip anytime you want. There's no contract, there's no obligation. You only pay when you order. So a lot of people think we're similar to a CSA, and we were started actually as a reaction to a CSA. Sometimes it's hard to get there to pick up the produce. You didn't get to pick what you got from a CSA. And with us, you get to order only when you want to, pay only when you order, and pick exactly what you want. This is an example of average week with us. We have 8 or 10 box choices. They range in price from $22 to $32. We have big boxes, small boxes, depending on the size of your household, and you can always build your own at any time.
So will you deliver like once a month?
Actually, as often as weekly. But
I
my
don't think I
mom
can
gets
eat
it once a
that much.
month. We have lots of we have lots of people that only get it once a month, every other week, you know. And what you can do is when you skip your account, you still get the menu email. So you can go in and pre-skip, so you're getting it once a month for the next 6 months. And then if a menu email pops up with blueberries on it, you might want to jump in and get a bottle. So.
But I like going to the farmer's market so I can pick it out and see that it's good quality and I know what I'm getting.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, so this is an interesting one. I don't know what you say to this, Mary, but then I say we support those same farmers. So if you're going to the farmer's market, that's wonderful. We're an option for people who sometimes don't get the chance to make it there, or they want to make it and they just don't get there every week.
And I also add that the hub staff looks at the food before it goes in the box and that the coordinators then look at it again, and if you do get something in your box that's not up to the quality, you can always call your neighborhood coordinator, and I kind of make them aware that you don't have to call the company and worry about it. You'll have a person that's assigned to you that's your coordinator, and that's who you call, and so it's just so easy to get it switched out and get a replacement if you're not happy with it. And I do talk about how we support those same farmers. The other thing is, yeah, I would love to have my kids eat this, but I cannot get my kids to eat vegetables.
Oh, gotcha. Well, we give you lots of tips in the newsletter. That's definitely a problem for a lot of people I know. It's been a problem for me, but I've been a member for 6 years. The great thing to do is always to tell your story, too. You can tell Courtney's story if you're brand new, and that's on the website. It's a great story. But I tell my story now, and my story is true that 6 years ago when I joined the Produce Box, my kids wouldn't touch anything but carrots, and even that was barely with me begging them. And now they beg for okra. Kale chips are their favorite. So we provide recipes on how to use the stuff in the boxes. You can pick and choose so if there's things you know they won't touch, you can swap out an item or build your own box, like I said. And the other thing that we do is once a month we offer a kid page in our newsletter. So my kids get so excited for the farmer box, they call it, because they want to do the mazes and see the jokes. And we really do try and get the whole family engaged. So it's kind of a fun way to expand your horizons.
And I touch on those topics, and sometimes I'll say, like, hey, do you know that research shows that it only takes as little as 2 weeks to alter your taste buds and retrain your taste buds and, lose all those cravings you have for high fat and high salt foods? And,
Mary's also a health coach.
and, that way you're training your children how to make healthy food choices. And, you know, that puts them on a trajectory for optimal health for their whole life, throughout their whole life. And what more loving thing can you do as a parent than to train them how to eat healthy? That'll last them their whole life. So,
You know, and actually, when I hear this too with my kids, and I think this is true. I bet you if I have anybody here with kids, my kids love when the produce box comes. And I tell people this. I said they actually wait for the box. If I take stuff out of the box before they get home, they are mad. And I think this is great. These kids actually really love opening it up. And I think this is one of the, I can't do, because, you know, they're seeing these things in front of them and they grab them out and start eating them. And that's the experience that I know that kids have. What's that?
Like opening.
It is. I have actually rung the doorbell and the kids come running, you know, out in the neighborhood court to run the door. Produce box, produce box. So I mean, and these are stories to tell because it's true that these kids love to get the produce box and start eating it once they get used to it and seeing it right there.
And the food just tastes different. I tell people too.
I tell them
My
that.
kids know the difference. The produce box, we always say everything's been picked within 24 to 48 hours. They use minimal chemicals on it, and my kids can tell the difference. When they pick up something from the grocery store, they say, "Mommy, we taste the chemicals. Where's the produce box?" Because the food tastes different. It tastes better. It has more of its nutrients. It has more of its flavor. When it's fresh picked like that, it just tastes better. And even my husband, who hates veggies, eats everything out of the box because it tastes better.
So tell your story
the
is
more
our bottom
stories you
line.
tell.
Yeah, about your experience as a member, your experience as a coordinator. And events should be fun. They really shouldn't be hard work. And the time Carol was at the Health Expo in Charlotte. A couple of us worked it with her, but she was there for 11 hours the first day and 9 hours the second day. I mean, the time goes by so quickly because it's an easy thing to talk about and it's fun and it's usually a popular table. Veggie sculptures, tattoos, samples. We do things that hopefully make you have a popular table.
we did at Marbles this year, an event where there were 3 different kinds of apples and they were labeled, and then there was a big board up with pictures of the different apples. So the kids tasted all 3 apples and then chose their favorites and put it up there. And it really got the parents engaged and it really got the kids excited. And the parents thought, yeah, the kids do like this. I also always bring up how by being a member you're helping your community. People like to feel good about themselves, and when they hear those things, it's helpful.
Thank you guys for joining the event core too. We're really appreciative that you raised your hand, said you want to do it. We can't wait to have a team of people that is trained, and we're not just throwing event kits on boxes.
Sending an email every week saying, "Where are your TPP smiles?"
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great year for events. And if you know of any or see any come up, like Geraldine said, email her, email me, and contact them and see what we can do to be there.